Oh, he was proud of Martin. Oh, yes, he was. Look at that. Look at that. So that's my baby Martin. And there they are. They're beginning to grow up. But I want you to know that Martin was a handsome baby. Don't you think he's handsome? Oh, yes, he is. And as he began to grow up, the Grandma King and my grandma, we used to read to the children. You see in there, there's Martin and there's Christine. AD hadn't got here yet. Mm-hmm.
Wait, AD
was his brother. We just called him AD.
Wait, little brother?
Yeah, he had a little brother.
Oh my
named
God.
AD.
It's Christine the bigger.
Now, one of my funny stories is, now when he was growing up, Martin would, they would play and run through the house and just keep up such a fuss. And one day I said, Martin, now you can't be running through the house, you and AD. You have to stop that. You're going to get hurt. Well, about that time, Grandma was coming out of the parlor, and they were running down the stairs and ran over her. Just ran over her. Knocked her unconscious. Oh, Martin thought he had killed her. Oh, my goodness. They thought they had really hurt her. And he got so upset, he ran and jumped out of the window upstairs. When he found out that Grandma looked like something was happening to Grandma. Oh, my goodness. So I had to run out and see about Martin and trying to get Grandma resuscitated. Well, I had to do something for Martin. I had to discipline Martin a little bit. Discipline? Do you know what discipline is?
No.
Oh, what is, yes. Becca know what discipline is when Mom says time out. Here's another one of my stories of Martin growing up. Now, what do you suppose has happened in this picture? There's all three of those little guys. Oh, what's going on? Yes, tell me about it.
He knocked the chair down and one of the legs fell off.
Oh, you know what happened? I thought, the children need to have music lessons. You can't grow up in this world without knowing how to play an instrument. How many of you know how to play an instrument? Oh, see? I was right, wasn't I? Mama is always right. So I made sure that all the children were taking piano lessons. Well, let me tell you, Martin and AD, they didn't like it so well. And so they decided that they would screw the leg off of the piano bench. Well, let me tell you, when he came in to give them lessons, look at him. He's really upset, isn't he? When he came in to give them lessons, he sat down on the piano bench, and guess what?
It fell. It fell.
I'm like, children. I had to get me a little switch and get Martin's. I had to spank Martin and AD and Christine.
But
Martin grew up and he was able to play the piano quite well. Martin, yes, he did. He learned how to sing and play the piano. And girl, look, let me tell you.
He loves to
you will not imagine what's going on. Can you imagine Dr. Martin Luther King unscrewing the legs on the piano bench? Can you imagine Dr. Martin Luther King running over his grandmother? Can you imagine this? Now, who do you see in this picture?
Martin Luther King Jr. climbing up a tree.
And there they are. All three of them. Christine, AD, Martin. Now, what is that on the stick? That is Grandma's fur. You know, Grandma's fur coat? Well, not a fur coat. They would wrap them around their shoulders. I wish I had worn mine today so I could show it to you. You wrap it around your shoulders, and it has its eyes in it, and it has a mouth, and it has its tail, and you wrap it around, and you look real cute on Sunday mornings when you go to church all dressed up. Well, that was Grandma's fur, and they put it on a stick. Wonder what they're doing with that now. What in the world? Oh! They were like, oh my God! These are my neighbors. I was so embarrassed. Oh, Martin. What are you guys doing now? You're terrorizing the neighborhood. Oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed. And your daddy is the Reverend Oh no. How many of you get in trouble like Martin?
Oh, no.
Oh, not quite as much. Not quite as much. Well, Martin was something, and AD was something, and Christine was right there with them. Yes.
I got in trouble, because I got so angry, I think, I bent a tablet.
Oh no. Well, Martin didn't have a tablet back there, but he did enough stuff to make up for it. I'm telling you, he did. So we had to deal with good old Martin and Christine for scaring the neighbors. And even though this is my baby, I'm keeping him in front of you so you can see how wonderful he was.
White children.
Oh, they're all playing together, aren't they? And that's in the neighborhood on what street? Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, during the time of segregation.
That's confusing.
That's confusing. Why is that confusing?
Because it was segregated still back then.
But it didn't segregate you children, did it? Because children are children, and children love to play with each other. These kids' dad owned the grocery store, you know, the little corner store. He kind of owned the store in the neighborhood, yes.
But there's 4 of them.
It's 4 of them, and they're playing what? Baseball, and Christine's right there.
I love baseball. It's my favorite sport.
Yeah, they're having fun. They are having so much fun.
I like playing soccer.
But what do you think is happening here?
They're bored.
You know what's happening, boys and girls? Oh, who knows what's happening here?
Segregation.
Yeah, the parents found out. And when the parents found out, they said, don't you be playing with those kids anymore. I don't want you playing with those. Back there in those days, they called us colored. They said, I don't want you playing with those colored kids anymore. So AD and Christine went over to the general store to ask the boys if they wanted to play like always. And they said, our daddy said, we can't play with you anymore. Oh, look at my Martin. You see him? And Christine and AD. What's happening? Oh, it made me so sad that day. Wonder what happened that day. After they went over and they told them they couldn't play, Martin's heart was so broken. AD was sad. Christine said, Mom, I don't understand what happened. And I had to explain to them that we were living in times of segregation. And little black kids and little white kids were not permitted to play together. And Martin said to me that day, he said, when I grow up, I'm going to turn the world upside down, Mama. You just wait and see. I'm going to change things when I grow up, Mama. This is just not fair. Now, what did I tell you Daddy King was? Martin's daddy.
Preacher.
He was a preacher. And who do you think is sitting there with Grandma King?
Martin Luther King Jr.
And who else? And Christine and AD. And I'm telling you what, Daddy King could preach. Woo! On Sunday morning, he could really preach. And the church would be saying, amen, preach, brother. And I got an opportunity. You see me over there in the corner with my hat on? With my beads and my earrings. I'm playing the piano.
I don't see you.
Yeah, I'm right there. Don't you see me? Oh, that's me right there, girl. I'm playing the piano. And when I would take Martin to church, I'd have to find somebody to hold him for me. Now I'm going to let him sit in the chair. And Martin, you sit right here. He was a good boy when he was a baby. And he'd sit in church just like a little man. And there I am playing the piano. And we would sing, this little light of mine. Sing, I'm gonna let it shine. You know that song?
Yeah.
And I would be playing the piano. And then we'd say, this little light of mine. Let me hear you say, I'm gonna let it shine. Let me hear you say it. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it it shine. And Martin would be singing and clapping his hands. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. We're having church. This little light of mine. Woo! Those were good times. Those were good times. And I want you to know, by the time Martin was like 12, he could preach almost as good as his daddy. Matter of fact, sometimes we let him preach. We put him in a little room and folk would come to hear old Martin preach. Well, just like Martin said when he told me, Mama, when I grow up, I'm going to turn the world upside down. He did. What are those sayings? We what? We demand voting rights now. And what is that one saying? In segregated schools and public schools. So my son, just like he said, he turned the world upside down. He said, Mama, when I grow up, we're gonna do something about this segregation. Now, guys, what are you gonna do something about? What's going on in our world that you want to see change? Yes.
I want to see change by not being segregated instead of just fighting over to not be fighting and the parents not letting them play with their kids. I want to do the world forward instead of just letting them being segregated like this.
Segregated. So we got to keep working on that, because if we're not careful, it could just kind of crop up again. So Dr. King went to Washington. Oh, I was so excited. Me and Daddy King was so excited when he went to Washington, D.C. And he said, I have a dream. And he was dreaming about his kids and kids like you and kids that'll come after you. He was dreaming about you. How many of you know that Dr. King was dreaming about you? Oh, yes, he was.